Man, it feels good to see Black Clover come back, but not just with one or two chapters this time, but now we've been given three chapters to talk about, and there is quite a bit to uncover. But before all that, let's talk about this beautiful color page that we got because, oh my goodness, it's just so beautiful, man. And yeah, we've entered the fall season, so I guess Tabata was feeling like drawing some fall-related art. Like, Tabata really gifted us with like such a beautiful color spread. And not only that, I think it really captures the season of fall very well. Like, it's so calm and relaxing. Yet, there's a sense of sadness you can feel with it too. You see Ichika looking ahead, Yami looking above, Nacht looking towards, well, where Morgan's at, and Morgan, of course, looking at the opposite direction. It's just very somber. There's a lot that you can just uncover by just talking about this page alone, but I want to talk about the chapter because there's a lot to discuss, so let's move towards it right now. Now, right off the bat, we actually see Nacht fighting against his brother Morgan. And, like, clearly from Nacht's reaction, he's just completely shocked that he's seeing his brother in this fight. And on the topic of siblings, we actually see Ichika notice her brother falling into the floor. And yeah, that's when we see Lucius and Morgan work together. And Lucius has a very interesting line. He says, "As a former Grey Deer, let's take them on together." And I know people are bringing up the fact that it wasn't Lucius, it was Julius who was a Grey Deer. So it's really interesting that Lucius would say this line. But admittedly, before this, I always was under the assumption that Lucius was aware of Julius's actions when he took over. But it wasn't the same vice versa. I think, yeah, Lucius knew what Julius was doing, but Julius didn't know what Lucius was up to. I could be wrong. I'm not saying this is like something that 100% did happen. It's just something I was assuming the entire time. And I could be wrong. I know people are saying that, oh, maybe Lucius's mind and body and spirit are actually combining with Julius. They're actually becoming like whole as like one big person. And I'm not entirely sure, maybe, but it is something worth thinking about. But moving ahead, Nacht actually charges towards both the Lucius clone and Morgan. And here he uses Mana Zone, Dark Prison Hunting Ground. And that's when Nacht is like, I'll keep them busy. In the meantime, do something about Yami. And yeah, Yami's completely beat up. Like, Jesus, bro. And he actually thinks he's hallucinating. He's like, oh no, I'm seeing Ichika now. And he realizes, thanks to his key, that yeah, it actually is her. With Ichika going down to help him. And she's telling him to snap out of it. And Yami's like, what are you doing here in Clover? And she mentions how the Black Bolts are the reason that she arrived there. And Yami is just really happy to hear that Oz is doing well. He's like, so that kid's alive after all. Those idiots do good work. And that's when we see Ichika apologize. She's like, brother, I'm sorry. You only killed father after he'd gone insane. I was the one who massacred the clan. You took the blame and left our homeland. You were my benefactor, and I knew nothing. I resented you. I'm truly sorry. But Yami, he doesn't need an apology. He says, no need for that. I asked for you to help out. That's when we see a flashback about Yami leaving the land of the sun, and a young Ichika just sleeping on a little boat. And then Yami's like, when you're Shogun, I'll come back to pay you a visit. With Ryu saying, yeah, we'll be waiting for you. Me and Ichika both. And Yami gives one big thanks to Ryu. And as we continue, Ichika notices that, yeah, his wounds are deep. In an emergency, Lord Ryu said to give this to you. And she notices that, yeah, it's a demon soul pill. And, like, she's in complete disarray. She's like, why? Why would he want me to give him this? And Yami's like, I get it. He thinks I can handle it now. And Ichika's confused. She's like, what do you mean? And he starts talking about how it doesn't boost your impulse to kill. Your physical abilities go berserk and you lose your mind. No one in the Yami clan was ever able to do it. And yeah, she's realizing that his Yoryu is rising explosively and boosting his power to heal. And then boom! Yami's like, what if you actually stayed insane after you transform? And that's when a Lucius clone just immediately shows up behind Ichika. And he's like, I hadn't greeted Yami's sister yet, even though I owe him so much. And this is like another moment where people, I think, are over-analyzing what Lucius said. They're like, oh, what does he mean by that? Isn't Julius the one that would deserve that? Much thanks, not Lucius. And I'm like, I think he's talking about the Krylloth and everything that happened in Spade. Not exactly any of Julius's memories. Or at least that's what I'm assuming. But yeah, that's when the Lucius clone charges towards Ichika, and we get an amazing moment where Yami protects Ichika and he transforms. And this is so cool because Yami Sukehiro, the man himself, becomes the Black Bull. And I think this looks so cool, bro. I know some people are like, oh, this feels a little too simplistic. Maybe the design should have been like a lot more detailed or more refined or something like that. But I don't know. I think it looks really cool in my opinion. It fits Yami very well. I mean, I guess people were expecting it to look like, you know, something Devil Union related, like Nacht or with Asta. But you have to understand, this isn't even a Devil Union. This is just him taking a demon pill and him taking on a form that was like passed down to his family, one that they couldn't even control. So I think this fits very well. And then like right after he transforms, he just slashes the Lucius clone, and he's like, "This time, I'm protecting you." And Ichika's like, "Oh, big brother," and we're just getting started, man. This is just the first page, but I gotta say, like the final panel, Yami looks really cool. At least in my opinion. Now, onto chapter 375. So, the chapter starts off a few minutes earlier. We see Nacht continue to fight Morgan. And Nacht's thinking to himself, he's like, that form, plus dark magic. The one who's controlling him is Lucifugus. And I don't remember if this was confirmed before, but I do believe many people in the fandom did theorize this, me included. So it's really good to see confirmation, but it's also really, like, messed up that the very devil that caused his death is the one that's controlling his body right now. Like, goddamn, bro. And Nacht's like, that's no longer Morgan. I'll defeat him right along Lucius's clone. Even if it kills me. And he uses Gallus X Felis X Canis. And holy shit, bro. This form looks so sick, man. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Guts' armor that he has in Berserk, when he's using the Berserker armor. And here it actually kind of reminds me when Guts was kind of losing himself. But, I don't know how to pronounce the name, where Shuke came in and, like, she came to help him. Like, when it finally revealed his face, this is, like, what it kind of reminds me of. And I think it's really cool. And obviously, it's no secret that Berserk has some influences on Black Clover, so this is just wonderful to see. And holy shit, bro. Do you see this panel, this double spread? Holy god, dude. There is so much going on. And, like, there's a lot more crazier double spreads than this, but, like, Nacht is going in along with Lucius's clone and Morgan. Like, this is a good fight. And as we move on, Morgan's like, brother, you look like you're hurting. You still blame yourself, don't you? I'll set you free. And, like, Nacht is completely losing himself right now. And meanwhile, back to Yami, we see the Lucius clone who just got slashed, and he's like, who'd have thought you still had this kind of strength? That's incredible, Yami. And Yami's like, shut up. Quit talking with Julius's face. And he's like, still, you and I may be strong, but Morgan is stronger than us both right now. Which is quite an insane statement for one of the clones to say. And Ichika's like, the vice captain had Asta's anti-magic, and he still lost this early? And Yami's like, no, that guy. And before I even continue, when I first read this, I was confused. I was like, there's no way Morgan would have lost that easily with Asta's anti-magic. What is going on? And as we see Nacht descend into the ground, he's like, as a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom, as the vice captain of the Black Bulls, I must defeat Morgan. I know that, but I've already killed my brother once. I can't kill him again. And yeah, he was basically responsible for his death the first time, and the fact that he has to be the one to fight him again, to be the one to take him down, that's too much to take in. Like, he already felt regret about his brother's death, and had to go through all of that over again. That's just too much. And you can just tell by his expression here alone. Like, Tabata does such an amazing job doing that, because you can feel every ounce of emotion he's feeling here. Like, he clearly doesn't want to fight his brother again. He didn't even expect to see him again. and now he's the one responsible to have to do it all over again. It's heartbreaking, and you gotta really feel for him. And like right after that, as Nacht is descending into the ground, Morgan is like, "Brother, let's start over again, together." And that's when he launches an attack. But boom, Yami shows up and saves him right in the nick of time. And that's when Yami's like, "Does this look like any time to cry, you rich kid loser?" Morgan's already, and Nacht's like, I know that, but... And Yami, he says, "Are you planning to let Morgan kill people? He lived to save them. He was basically good incarnate. He's dead. Morgan is dead. You chose to shoulder that sin for the rest of your life, remember? You've got to be the one to stop him." And then he continues by saying, "Man, you're pathetic. You're all freaked out because you're by yourself. So here I am. We'll fight him together." And man, Yami, always giving off the dad energy, bro. He's like, "Don't worry. We'll deal with this together. You and me." And yeah, that's when Morgan launches an attack. And Jesus, the paneling is just so good, bro. I know I bring it up every time, but the Giga breaks, they're worth it, bro. Just for this alone. And as we continue, Yami says, "The one who makes me sick here is Lucius, doing all this crap while he's guarding Julius' face. And now he's here, even desecrating the dead. Morgan, there's no way I could forget you. But the one thing I can do for you, while that scumbag's using you, is to put you back down so you can rest in peace." And with that, we reach the end of the second chapter, which is 375. And man, you could really feel the emotions in this chapter. Like, just going back to, like, the color page, when I was like, how it looks so somber. Yeah, that was definitely, like, a prelude to everything that was going to come right, like, after it, because, my god, this is, like, really sad. And now that brings us to the final chapter, chapter 376. And it opens up with Nacht having an internal dialogue. He's like, "I've always had the same dream. I joined the Grey Deer too. Yami and I fight over Morgan. And Morgan just smiles, the way he always did. When I wake up, I despair." And it just shows Nacht facing reality. And then Morgan says, "Master Lucius is no scumbag, Yami. He's a savior who will bring true peace to this world." And yeah, Yami wasn't going to hear any of that. He just uses Dark Cloak, Dimension Slash. And of course, Morgan just continues to boast about the power he has now thanks to Lucius. And he makes a great point about how his own magic is light, so it's basically a fight between light and dark magic. And once again, we get another really good paneling of Yami charging his attacks towards Morgan, and Morgan fighting back towards Yami. Which is, damn, this is really good, bro. And now Yami's commenting on how, like, really powerful Morgan is to fight against. He's like, right now, Morgan's even stronger than Lucius. Well, than that Lucius, the clone, not the actual Lucius himself, which is quite the thing to say, to be honest. But it does make sense, considering it is basically Lucifugus he's fighting against. And right after this panel, we see Chica come up to Nacht, and she's like, "I don't know much about your relationship to my brother. From what Asta told me, though, after brother defended me and was driven from our homeland, even in a foreign land he knew nothing about, he inspired all sorts of people. I almost made my brother shoulder everything by himself again. I can't possibly just stand back and watch, as if I were some sort of tragic princess." And she joins in to fight against Yami, and, like, another testament of just how amazing Tabata is at writing a female cast. Like, Ichika is just another great example. She understood everything that had happened before. She's not letting that hold her back. Instead, she's using that to fight alongside her brother. And she's using this to help Nacht stand up and fight as well. This is just really awesome to see, and I love when Tabata does stuff like this, man. And as Ichika just launches herself forward, she's like, "I didn't come to be protected. I'm here to help. I'll fight alongside you, brother." And Yami's like, "You're all grown up. We may not look alike, but our Yojutsu and magic sure do." And they use dark combo spell, Black Heaven. And I gotta take a moment to just really appreciate how awesome it is that we're seeing Yami and Ichika work together. Like, this is what I was hoping for in the last video when I talked about the last 2 chapters. I was like, please, for the next chapter, I just want to see Yami and Ichika work together, and I'm getting exactly that, and this looks sick, bro. Just Yami looking forward, Ichika just looking back, both of them getting ready to work together, creating a combo spell. It's amazing. It's just peak, bro. I love this. And they charge forward with another really good panel, by the way, and Nacht is observing everything from below. And he's like, I'm sorry. I was trying to take the easy way out, telling myself I could die at any time. Tears don't mark the end of a sin. And he says, Gallus ex Phalis ex Canis ex Equus. And that's when Nacht finally joins Yami in the fight, and all 3 of them are working together. And Morgan's like, I knew it, brother, you're the one with the greatest talent for magic. And, holy shit, man. Look, the other panels looked really good too, don't get me wrong, but this one right here in chapter 376, page 16, this double spread, we see Dark x Shadow Magic, Walpurgis, Night. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't expect the anime to really come back quickly. This is gonna take the animators some time, and I'm rooting for them. Like, bro, I don't even think this is gonna be properly adapted. Look at every single attack, every movement, every single amount of detail about every location being destroyed. This is just something else, man. Like, it's about to take in that massive break in Jump Giga, having this period of time where he works on it, like 2 to 3 months, just so we can get new chapters. It is worth it, bro. You can't tell me we're not getting some of the best art in the series through these chapters, man. This is something special, bro. Holy shit. Like, I am so blessed to be a Black Clover fan, to be able to see this. Like, oh my god. I'm sorry for geeking out, but this just looks so cool, man. And then immediately after, we see Ichika, Yami, and Nacht all screaming, charging towards Morgan. And Morgan's like, impressive, but I'll surpass them on my own. The brighter the light, the deeper the shadow it casts. And then right behind him, Nacht launches one fatal blow to him. And he's like, goodbye, Morgan. I will shoulder this pain forever. And that brings us to the end of 376. And oh my god, these 3 chapters were incredible. God, these Jump Giga chapters have been truly something special, man. I have been enjoying every bit of it, man. And especially these 3 chapters, whew, they've been really good. Alright, now let me give some closing thoughts. Now, first off, like I said, I loved these chapters, and you want to know what made it even better for me? Now, normally I would have released the video earlier, because what I usually do is, I see the leaks, I immediately talk about them, and I make a video uploading them as quick as I can. This is actually the first time, I think, in a very long time, or maybe if ever, where I've just talked about the chapter when it officially released. Like, I didn't want to talk about the leaks. Like, to be honest, we shouldn't even be getting leaks for Black Clover. Like, the chapter only was a few days away. And we got the first few panels leaked, I think, 2 days before the chapter. And then a day after, I don't think we got much. And then I think, what was it, like less than 24 hours before the chapter released, everything got leaked. And honestly, I think that's ridiculous. I think it's just stupid that we're actually getting leaks at this point. Bro, if we're getting chapters, an official for the chapter within 3 to 2 days, like right when it's like right there, like why even leak it? Like, be honest, other than clout, what more do you want? And I'm not here for clout at all. Like, if it's out, I'll talk about it. But actually, no, it was out and I didn't want to talk about it. It's like right there. It's ridiculous to me. If you want to go ahead and read the leaks, that's fine. But for me, like, I think from now on, unless everything releases, like, super ahead, I think I'm good just waiting for the officials. But that's just me. Like I said, I know I'm saying that a lot, but I'm making that very clear. I'm not ridiculing anybody for reading the leaks, though admittedly I do think the leakers are getting a bit ahead of themselves having to release this like right before the officials are out, because I think there's no harm in waiting. But whatever, that's just me. Now, onto the chapters itself. There are a few comments I wanted to make. Let's start off with the first thing. Now, I've heard some people talk about how Yami taking the demon pill relates back to how he has a devil heart, because we saw that back in the Spade arc. I don't think those two are related, and I was skimming through the chapters, reading them again, looking for any potential link that they could have. I don't think there is any, as far as I'm aware. I think the pill is something completely separate from whatever's going on with Yami's heart. I think that's going to be addressed soon, but as of like right now, I don't think they're like related at all. Which has me really curious. When exactly will it be brought up? Does Lucius have some sort of plan for it? Is Adramelech going to do something? And what about William? Is his heart like a devil too? I would assume his is as well. So I feel like whatever's going on with those two, potentially, we're going to find out after this. So I'd keep an eye out. But yeah, I don't think this is related to that. And who knows, maybe this could be related to Yami getting another form as well. But yeah, that's something I'm really curious about, and I just don't see this demon pill being related to it. Remember, we saw it way back in the Land of Sun arc, and even here with the recent chapters, that this is something that's passed on to the Yami clan. So I think like right there, that deconfirms it. So we'll have to continue to wait to see how that develops. Now, on to the next thing. I do want to highlight the fact that, yeah, Yuno's Neverland is still active. So all the heroes have a buff, and all the villains are fighting against are nerfed. So the fact that Yami even struggled with a buff early on before he took the pill against what would essentially be a nerfed Morgan and a nerfed Lucius clone, that just goes to show, yeah, these guys are freaking powerful, bro. And yeah, they're all nerfed. Like, Yuno's magic is still active. So it's incredible that, yeah, sure, they were able to pull through. Yami took down the Lucius clone, and Nacht took down his brother at the end. But that just goes to highlight that, yeah, Yuno is definitely the MVP. Not just like right now, but throughout this entire arc. So that's just something I wanted to highlight. But at the same time, yeah, we've seen Acer get taken down, we've seen Morgan get taken down, we've seen some Lucius clones get taken down, and of course we've seen Morris get taken down by Meriliona. So some people are bringing up the fact that, yeah, this is similar to what happened in Spade when the Dark Triad got taken down. Like, something big happened afterwards. That's when we saw the fight against Lucifero, and not even just that, that's when we saw Vanica, we saw Xenon and Dante just get even more powerful. So yeah, this is something interesting. I don't know what could happen next though. I know Broku said that perhaps we're gonna see not even perhaps, he thinks that, like, for sure we're gonna see the Paladins come back. So Morgan, Acer, Morris, all of them, like, they're just gonna come back. And yeah, I see that as a possibility. Maybe they could come back and they'd be even stronger. But honestly, I just want to see the Dark Triad come back. Because, well, we see them there. They're like right where the real Lucius is. And yeah, you could bring them back at any point in time. So I'm really hoping we'll see them again. But yeah, this is essentially the calm before the storm. So I would try to keep an eye out for something big happening either in the next chapter or any of the next few that follow. And on the topic of just chapters and them releasing, like, there was some sort of, I don't know if it was a mistranslation or a misunderstanding or I don't know what, but when these chapters came out, they were claimed to be the final battle, like the final fight. No, that wasn't the case at all. And a lot of people were like, oh, so Black Clover's ending, this is basically the end. And no, that isn't the case. We saw Morgan get taken down. And now that we're getting the preview to the next chapter, which releases in January, by the way, notice how there's no mention of final anything. I think that was just a mistake by... I don't even know if it was by a translator or what, or if it was a misunderstanding. But yeah, that may have just been one big misunderstanding. So clearly we have quite a bit more Black Clover to look forward to. Whatever is coming next, I feel like is going to be something big. So here's looking forward to that. And finally, I want to end it by bringing up how Tabata is going to be in Spain soon. So that's something to really look forward to, because I'm sure, or at least I hope, fans will ask him some really interesting questions. So I really look forward to seeing how that interview goes and what questions and answers are given during that panel. And I hope he has fun in Spain. I would love to be over there. Maybe one day if Tabata comes here in the US, I'll try to book a trip to whatever state he goes to, because I would love to meet him and ask him a few questions, especially some Magnum related ones. But yeah, I hope he has fun over there. It's actually interesting that we're getting a chapter in January, that's despite the fact that he's going to Spain next month. So I don't know if we'll get another 3. So we'll probably get 2 chapters, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and as an added bonus, I'm actually pretty relieved that for once in a very long time, like, everyone seems to be really happy with the chapter. Like these were some like really good chapters, and I know some people were really hoping that like Noel's fight against Acer could have been like this, where it was just 3 chapters instead of 2, and I get that. Like, I really still enjoyed the 2 chapters we got of Noel, but that's a fair critique. So I'm happy that these 3 chapters satisfied everyone with the Yami, Nacht, and Ichika fight against Morgan. So, like, the only complaint I really saw was Yami's form. I guess some people are disappointed about that, but that's like really one minor thing compared like to everything else we got. And I still think that's kind of like, you know, kind of a weird thing to complain about. Well, not really complain about, but to like really like criticize, because I thought he looked really nice. But I'm not gonna, you know, fault anybody for feeling that way. If you don't like the form, that's cool, that's on you, but I liked it. Like, he literally became the Black Bull, and I find that really cool. But again, that's just my opinion. And yeah, that's basically my thoughts on everything in the chapter related. So now feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, what did you think about the chapter? What do you think is going to happen next? What are some of your favorite moments? Because we got quite a bit of it. And of course, if there's anything I missed or something you wanted to hear my opinion on, let me know and I'll do my best to respond. So yeah, I think this video went on a little too long. I enjoyed these chapters. I'm really looking forward to the next few that we get in January, along with Tabata's interview. And yeah, I rambled on enough. That'll do it for me for now. Peace out, take care, and here's looking forward to the rest of the Black Clover stuff we're getting next month and in January.